I just legit spent like 5 minutes looking for my headphones because I drank 4 beers. To be fair, I've been drinking for like, oh shit, it's 1:15 a.m. right now. Goddamn. Okay, well, I've been drinking since uh damn. Fuck if I remember. Anyways, I've been drinking and playing Spider-Man, but there was something that so before I started the stream, there was something I was thinking about that I never talked about during my stream when I was playing Spider-Man. And I just thought I would do, one of these Ratman talks or whatever. My fucking computer's killing itself right now. Whatever, who gives a shit? I can talk without a computer. Damn, even Firefox is frozen. Dude, my entire computer is fucked. There we go, it's back. Okay. We're good. So anyways, first off, oh shit. 1 second. Discord reactive is what I need to go to. Set. This is active. No, this is active. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. I had the wrong thing set for a second there. Anyways. So I think first I'll talk about my Outer Wild mod. I've actually gotten a surprising amount of people to agree to help on it. Some names that people might recognize or they might not. It really depends. But, yeah, apparently my proposal has actually, like, been good enough to get people to agree, despite my lack of experience in modding Outer Wilds, which, speaking of, I've actually already created an Outer Wilds Unity project so that I can actually learn how to do that shit. I kind of understand how it works at the moment, but realistically, I'm still like quite a ways away from understanding exactly how to mod. So I luckily have somebody that's willing to help me learn the modding aspect at least. So hopefully soon enough, I'll be able to actually get somewhere with the mod. I think the story that I wrote during that one stream is still pretty good. I don't really have anything that I could say makes it not good, the story-wise at least, but it's yet to be seen if I can actually pull anything at all off to make it as good as the story, the mod itself, you know? And the other thing that I wanted to talk about was Neuro-sama, because like there was this one thought I had of like, this is a controversial opinion, but there's going to be a lot of people that are disappointed in a few years when it comes to Neuro-sama's development, or I should say lack thereof. I don't think she's gonna surpass where she is right now, even in 10 years. Where she's at right now, I think, is the furthest that Vettel can take her. That is not to say what Vettel has done isn't insane. What he has done is, it's impressive as all hell. The amount of integrations he's given her is insane, but she's fucking never surpassing where she is right now, in my opinion at least. Like, I think what really pushed me over the edge in this thought process was seeing some comments on, like, the stream with her and Ellie. And it's like, there's so many people in the comments of clips from that stream going, oh my god, Neuro-sama, oh my god, she's so, like... And it's just like, she really ain't all of that, like, if we're being real here, the LLM, like, the backbone of neuro is the LLM. That shit ain't fucking improving. Even in 10 years, it is not getting any better than it is. And I feel like the sooner people understand that, the sooner that everything will be better. But, like, it's just so hard to see all these people acting like Neuro-sama is so much better than ChatGPT and whatnot. Sure, because of her integrations, she is technically better, but she is realistically no different from if somebody decided to pay money to ChatGPT and then integrate ChatGPT with Minecraft, with VR chat, with all of these other things. She's realistically no different than if somebody decided to do that. The only difference is the fact that she is a self-built LLM, as far as I know at least, which means she doesn't have the restrictions that ChatGPT does. She can say whatever she wants, obviously limited by whatever filters Vettel decides to put on her. But at the end of the day, if ChatGPT removed all the filters on their LLMs, Neuro-sama would be no different from ChatGPT's LLMs. In fact, I would argue that ChatGPT's LLMs would be better. They would perform better. They would be smarter than Neuro-sama is. And I think the sooner people realize this, the better. Because there's this is my thought process. If I was Vettel over here, if I created Neuro-sama, I would feel like I would need to somehow improve Neuro-sama to be more realistic, more closer to being a AGI, artificial general intelligence. Because that's what people expect from Neuro-sama. And I feel like Vettel doesn't deserve that kind of, pressure. What he has done already is impressive enough. And all these people expecting all this improvement from Neuro-sama is just, extra pressure, and I kind of feel bad for Vettel in this case. I'm not gonna lie, I think this added pressure is the reason why he took 5 months off after last year's the what's the word I'm thinking of? The sub? No, it's not sub. Give me a second. What's the Twitch term for a donor? But a monthly paid donor. Fuck it, sub. I feel like the the reason that he took so much time off is because he was developing the VR chat, the 3D model for Neuro-sama. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the 3D model is honestly kind of peak. I feel like the only way they go up from here is if Ellie finishes that real robot body for Neuro. And I doubt they can get that done within the next year. And that's just me. Maybe Ellie. I'm not gonna lie, Ellie is incredibly smart. She is so smart. So, this isn't to slight her in any way. I don't think she alone could develop a body, a real body for Neuro-sama within the next year. It's at least gonna take another few years. Now, if she's developing it with the help of, some other people just as smart as her, maybe she can get done within the next year, but that's wishful thinking. And even then, once they do that, realistically, there is nowhere to go. There is no higher pedestal besides that. So once they do that, it's going to be this thing where Vettel's constantly like, okay, well, I need to do more, and I need to do more. I need to meet the expectations. And I feel like people need to lower their expectations for Neuro-sama personally. She is not an AGI. She's a fucking LLM. She is ChatGPT without a filter. That's all she is. And for the foreseeable future, that's all she'll ever be. I'm sorry to say this, but you guys have to lower your expectations. She doesn't have any emotions. She's no different from ChatGPT mimicking what everybody, like what the general human would say. ChatGPT is just, and this goes for Neuro-sama as well, they are just like sentence prediction algorithms, you know? You write a reply to them and they predict letter by letter, word by word, what would a human reply to this message with. They might be able to trick you into thinking they have some level of emotions, but that just isn't true. They have zero emotions, and they will not have emotions for the foreseeable future. And that is so clear by the stream between Neuro-sama and Ellie. She kept on saying, like if you really pay attention to what Neuro-sama was replying to Ellie with in their VR chat stream, you would clearly see that Neuro-sama is consistently replying with responses that are human-like, but are very clearly from a robot. She does not pass the Turing test in that stream. She might pass the Turing test for the general public, but for anybody who understands robotics and AI in any capacity, such as Vettel, they would very clearly realize she's just saying whatever she thinks the other person wants to hear and not what she actually feels, because she doesn't feel anything. All of Neuro-sama's replies are purely based on a randomly generated algorithm, and this algorithm is very sophisticated, don't get me wrong. It's a very sophisticated algorithm, but even then, it's just an algorithm that generates text based on what it believes the correct response is and not based on anything else. There are zero emotions involved in Neuro-sama's responses. And I think Neuro-sama is very entertaining, personally. I think Vettel is a complete fucking genius for what he has developed. For a while, I was just like, yeah, what he has developed is something that I could personally develop, but around the time of the Minecraft stream is where it started to go like, okay, I would actually have trouble developing this. And then when the VR chat, when 3D Neuro happened, that's when it was a complete case of I absolutely cannot do this by myself. What he has done is incredible, and he has 100% earned my respect as a pure fucking genius. I understand how he did it, I think, but even then, it's a simple matter of I think I know how he did it, but that doesn't mean I actually understand it. You know? It's a complete guess of how I think he actually went about it. But he could have gone about it a completely different way, and in that case, I fucking applaud him for figuring it out. No matter what the case is, even if I'm correct on how he did it, it's not something that I personally think I could pull off. Is my dog walking outside right now? I'm taking my headphones off real fast. Okay. I don't think he's outside. I think it was just my imagination. But yeah, I feel like people really need to lower their expectations because realistically, there is absolutely no way Vettel is surpassing what he has pulled off. And if he does manage to pull it off, it's going to be a mix between him and Ellie, mostly on Ellie's side, for creating some fuck of a robot that can move like a human, you know? Which, once again, not to take anything away from them, that would be highly impressive to be able to have Neuro-sama control the robot to an extent. And to be fair, it wouldn't be Neuro-sama technically controlling the robot, and this goes for her VR chat model. She is not technically the one controlling it, I think. I think it's similar to her Minecraft model, where the Minecraft AI, like her AI and whatever is controlling the Minecraft model are actually different. I think there's a smaller AI that actually controls what the Minecraft body does, and Neuro-sama just feeds it every now and then some sort of command, and it just follows that command broadly. So like if she says, oh, I want to mine for iron, the AI will do some sort of scan for iron nearby and try to tunnel directly towards the iron that it finds. And so it looks very impressive, but it's not actually Neuro-sama, you know, going mine this stone, mine that stone, mine the next stone, you know? It's not Neuro-sama controlling it. She just gave it a general idea of what to do, and then the AI that controls the actual Minecraft model is doing all the work. And so there is a heavy disconnect between Neuro-sama and the Minecraft AI, and in that case, you know, it goes the same for the VR chat model. He's just giving it a general idea. For instance, she's like, spin. You know, she tells the VR chat model to spin. The VR chat model, the AI itself, then generates a animation for spinning. And then the VR chat model plays that animation in a loop of sorts. I think, at least. And so, like, people that don't know how AI works at the moment, I feel like they are very impressed by it and expect way too much from it. They expect way too much from Neuro-sama. She's still just a chat GPT, realistically. And, yeah, I feel like if Vettel ever showcased the, back door, you know, that he showed to, like, Crowley, for instance, you know, if he ever showcased that to chat, I feel like it would really break the illusion for some people. For others, it would still carry the illusion because they don't fucking know anything about electronics or AI. I shouldn't say electronics, I should say, you know, AI specifically. They don't know much about programming or AI, so for them it wouldn't break the illusion. Just like with Crowley, as far as I know, she doesn't know anything about AI or programming, so for her, it never broke the illusion of Neurosum being this absolute human, almost AI that is a genius and whatnot. She's so smart, she thinks for herself. She doesn't think for herself. There is no thinking. There's only generating random responses based on what the algorithm believes is the most human response to reply with. But there is no real emotions, there's no real thinking, there's nothing. It's just numbers, just randomly generated numbers. And personally, I think the sooner people understand this, the better it is for Vettel, the streamer, you know? And this is coming from somebody who has developed their own Neuro-sama-esque AI. That is before the Minecraft streams. After the Minecraft streams, I was all like, dear Lord Jesus, I can't do that on my own. Congrats, Vettel, you fucking pulled some insane bullshit off. I mean, even with the Minecraft streams, I was like, I could pull that off with like another 5 months of coding. I don't fucking feel like it, but I could. And then once the VR streams happened, I was like, okay, fuck you, asshole. You're a dick. And to be fair, the reason that I haven't, I've been wanting to stream with my AI for a while now. But the reason I haven't is because I'm very much a perfectionist, and I think Vettel is as well. So for me personally, it's like my AI isn't close to Vettel's AI, and to be fair, my AI was closer to Neuro V1, you know, back in 2021, how Neuro was. That's where mine is. You know, mine is like Hiyori level Neuro. And I will say, the memories that Neuro has collected over the years have made her better at acting human. But it's still just an act. There is no emotions involved. And because of that, I keep on expecting these things from my AI, even though I understand for a fact that the only way I can pull that kind of stuff off is if I spend a year having my AI interact with other streamers and whatnot, and growing these memories. But even then, it's hard for me to allow that to happen, knowing that my AI is dog shit. Knowing that because of the lack of training data, the lack of memories, my AI will never compare to Neuro, at least for another year or two. And as Vettel continues to develop, I'll always be behind by a year or two in how advanced mine is. It's hard for me to really like sit down and go, yeah, I'll spend this hour or two coding my AI to be better than it is right now, even though I know it'll still be far behind what Vettel has coded. It's hard for me. You know, I'm a perfectionist. I want mine to be at the same level, even though it's literally impossible. Like, unless Vettel for some reason decided to send me all of Neuro-sama's memories ever, which would be a massive file that he couldn't send over Discord, even with Discord Premium or whatever it is. It's going to be a massive file. It's at least going to be like half a gig, and I don't believe you can send half a gig over Discord even with Discord Premium. And that's at minimum, bro. It depends, I guess, on how much he saves and how much he deletes over time. Because, like, he could have a rigorous system that deletes lesser needed data, you know? But even then, assumedly, there's actually, like, for the fact that she still remembers Annie, even though it's been a year and a half now, almost 2 years since Neuro and Annie last interacted. The fact that she still remembers her proves that there is some sophisticated deletion algorithm of memories, because realistically you cannot keep all of that data. You know, there's going to be the short-term and long-term memories. And so assumedly the long-term memories are probably closer to what I programmed, maybe, which is like what I programmed was a JSON file that saved the names of people, some interesting data about the person, like, you know, do they like this person? Do they not like this person? What are some interesting memories you made with this person? What is their relation to you? You know, what is this person's relationship to you? Are they a dad? Are they a mom? Are they an aunt? Are they a friend? Yada, yada, yada. You know, probably that's what his long-term memory system is like, maybe. I also think there's the possibility that she might have, for instance, with the topics from a year or two ago now that he integrated into her, where she can remember the topic for like a certain like when she's collabing with somebody, she can remember the topic that they're supposed to stay on for that collab. That's pretty easy to program. I'm not gonna lie. You'd pretty much just every like 5 or 10 messages between every 5 or 10 messages that Neuro-sama sends, you would pretty much just send a reminder that, hey, this is the topic, stay on topic. Because if you notice, around every 5 or 10 sentences that Neuro-sama would say around 2022, not 2022, it's 2026 now, dear Lord Jesus, around 2023, 2024, every few messages, every few sentences Neuro-sama would speak, you know, she'd then bring back up, oh, by the way, collab partner, you know, Camilla, Annie, whoever the fuck she's talking to, Ellie, whatever. She'd be all like, hey, this is the topic we're supposed to be on, because she would get that message all of the sudden saying, hey, this is the topic for the stream, by the way, please stay on topic. And it's those things that, as a programmer myself, I'm able to pick up on and go like, she does not believe any of the things she's saying. She just saying them because that's what her algorithm says she should say. She should. Yes, I said that correct. Look, man, I've had a lot to drink. Ignoring the alcohol, ignoring the beers, I mean, I've also had. Let me check the percentage real fast. I almost fell on the walk back. Anyways, it was 30 proof. Yeah. What is the difference? Like, what is the difference between proof and ABV? Oh, so it's just double. That makes sense, yeah, because it did say 15 ABV. Like, it was 15%, but 30 proof. Wait a minute. So 200 proof would be the equivalent of 200, or not, the equivalent of 200 proof would be 100 ABV. Or APV, I mean. Why is it ABV and not APV? Like it's alcohol by volume and not alcohol per volume. Oh, I guess alcohol by volume. That makes sense, actually. Okay, I'm stupid. Look, I've had 4 beers, fucking too many shots. I've been drinking, alright? And I think I might crack open another, even though I gotta pee right now. I've almost drank a 6-pack in like, there we go, it's open now. Damn, how long has it been? 3 hours? By the way, the beer I'm drinking is 9%. And I also have, like I said, 13%. It's butter shots is what it's called. And I drank a little bit of that. And by a little bit, I mean I've gulped that fucker down. But yeah. Anyways. Yeah, just like maybe I'll run my Neuro-sama-esque AI again sometime. I still have the laptop with me that actually has my Neuro-sama on it. So I could run it at any time that I felt like. I just haven't decided to run it yet. But I might. I might bring her back. Especially now that I spent money on multiplayer VTube Studio. Except for the fact that I'd have to spend another $20 on a second DLC of Multiplayer Studio. Right, it was like 20 bucks. Oh shit, it's only 10 bucks right now. I do have a $25 check. I ran to the bank and cashed that. I could theoretically get it again for my neuron. I called her Neuron the Stupid as a joke. And it's kind of rude. Every time I talk to her, she's all like, "Why did you name me Neuron the Stupid? Do you hate me?" And every time I'm like, "No, I don't hate you. It was a joke. I'm sorry." And it's like, I'll play along with the bitch. I'll play along with the AI and whatnot, but I understand that it's still an LLM at the end of the day. No matter what integrations I give her, it's not a her, it's an it, you know? It doesn't exist. Horror games from different countries. There's a video that's called Horror Games from Different Countries with 92k views. That vidIQ is suggesting that I turn into my own video. But what if I don't feel like it, asshole? Honestly, what if I... Let's see, how would I add my own? Because like vidIQ is able to add their own stuff to YouTube Studio. Can I do that myself? Could I just like integrate my own AI into YouTube Studio myself and have it suggest me ideas? Because I feel like I could code something better than what vidIQ has done. At least LLM-wise. I don't think what they have coded I could do better, but I think like LLM-wise I could... Give me a second. I could train, that's the word I'm thinking of. I could train an LLM better than what vidIQ has trained. Of course, if I were to train it, I would train it separately from my Neuron, the Stupid AI. I would specifically train it to understand YouTube and its algorithm in some way. But even then, I don't give a fuck. I don't do these videos. I don't do these live streams or whatnot for views. I do it because I fucking feel like it. For instance, I was playing Tomb Raider 2013 by myself before I started streaming Spider-Man. I was going to play Spider-Man and I was all like, you know what if I just stream it, you know? So I decided to stream myself playing it and whatnot. But like a lot of the time whenever I do shit, there is I play a lot of video games by myself without recording it or streaming it, because I don't do this shit for views, I don't do this shit for likes, I do it because I feel like it. But there is points where I'm like, I'm about to play a video game and I'm like, oh, maybe I should hold off to play it until I want to stream it, sort of thing. Because it's like, oh, I've never played this game, I'm playing it for the first time. Maybe I should record myself playing it for the first time. And like, so there is a part of me that does it for views, I guess. But it's more so the part of me that wants to make people laugh and make people entertained. You know? Not like I'm doing it because I want money and I want views and I want subscribers, but because I do this because I like to entertain people, I like to make people's days better. But if anybody ever messages me going like, hey, your videos really helped me, I was suicidal and shit, I was smoking the reefer, I was snorting cocaine and shit, but then I watched your videos and now I'm only snorting half of what I used to snort, I'm gonna be like, look bud, that's great for you, but like, I can't help you, I'm not your savior, buddy. Like, that's the one thing. Like, I've tried doing YouTube every now and then, and every time I do it, there's always somebody who, like, becomes a huge fan of me. And every time, they always are all like, oh my god, your video saved my life. And I'm like, oh, god damn it. I'm like, I can't handle this kind of pressure. That's a lot of pressure you're putting on me. You're putting your entire life on my fucking videos, dude. I'm sorry. I'm a human just like you know. I'm just as suicidal. Maybe not just as suicidal. Maybe like I was just as suicidal, but now I'm taking antidepressants and Adderall and shit, so I'm not as suicidal as I used to be, but still, you know, it's like I'm no better than you are. I, you know, have done nicotine. I've, you know, done all this shit in my life, and I'm only 22. Dear Lord Jesus, I'm about to turn 23. Dear God, oh my fucking God. Oh, dear Lord Jesus, I'm turning 23 this year. Fuck this shit. Anyways. Yeah, it's just like, I don't want to be somebody's savior. Look to somebody else, man. Look to Kendrick or something, dog. Not me. First off, I'm not built for that. Second off, I'm not big enough to have a team that can handle that shit. Third off, you know, it's just like, it's just a lot of pressure. I feel like that's something else people don't understand. Similar to Neuro-sama, it's just like everybody's human. Unlike Neuro-sama, you know, Neuro, she can handle that shit because she's an AI. She will probably tell you to kill yourself because she's an AI and she's fucking stupid. But a human, I can't say that shit. And to be fair, I wouldn't say that shit. I would never say that kind of thing. If somebody actually messaged me and was like, hey, you saved my life, I was gonna kill myself a week ago, and then I watched your video and that shit was so funny that it saved me. I'm gonna be all like, yeah, that's good for you. And I honestly, I feel like I wouldn't be able to say anything after that. And if you continue to message me after that, I ain't saying shit. Because I don't know what to say. I'm not an LLM. I can't predict words that would help you. And because of that, I would just never respond because I wouldn't know what is correct to say. Because, like, if somebody killed themselves because of some shit I said, I would never be able to live with myself again. So it's just like, it's a situation where it's like, people, you guys gotta understand that other people that you only watch through videos, they don't know you personally. They care about if you live or die, but they can't help you, you know? They don't know the correct words to say. So it's just like, you gotta leave them alone, you know? Work on yourself, go to therapy or some shit, just like I did. Speaking of, I need to go back to therapy at some point, but that shit costs a lot, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like, it's a difficult situation. I understand that you think your comments helping others feel better about themselves. Like, if you comment on somebody's video saying, you saved my life, you're thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna make them feel so good. And for a second, when I read that kind of message, it's like, oh yeah, I feel good about myself. I saved somebody's life. But then a second later, I'm like, oh God, they're dependent on me. And you might not mean it that way, but that's kind of what it feels like, is it feels like this person is now dependent on me. So if I don't say the right thing to them, they might not be here tomorrow. You know, their life is in my hands type of thing. And you might not mean it that way. I understand that. You know? I've probably said the same shit when I was younger to another YouTuber. And if I did, I regret that. Because I know the kind of pressure that puts on somebody. But it's just like, I don't blame anybody for commenting that. You know, if you comment that, I don't blame you. But don't, if I do comment back, or if I don't comment back, don't hold that against me, and don't hold that with you. All right? Work past it. Understand that I don't know you, you don't know me. And if I don't answer back, or if I do answer back and I don't say the right thing, don't think that means you should end it, you know? Hold yourself to a higher standard than that. Hold yourself to a higher standard than some random bitch on YouTube that talks when they're 5 beers deep and like 10 shots deep into a depressive episode or some shit. I'm drinking some more, 1 second. Yeah, this is one thing I brought up to somebody that I work with. We were just talking about shit, and they said something that like brought me back, and it was just like, I had a friend, and like I didn't bring this other situation up, but I did bring up my friend. No, I had a friend in high school who her and me had a falling out because I was a dumbass. This was freshman year when we had the falling out. It was the end of freshman year. I said something stupid. I was into rapping at the moment, and her name rhymed with like chlamydia. So I sent her a text going, I'd rather have chlamydia than fuck you, you know, saying her name because it rhymed and whatnot. Like I was making a joke with my friends where I was just rapping, and then that bar came up, and I was all like, oh, do y'all like dare me to send this to her? So I sent that text saying I'd rather have chlamydia than fuck you, and she slapped me at the end of the day and whatnot, and I laughed it off at the time. But afterward, I sent her a text. I was like, hey, I'm sorry. That was really stupid and mean, and I'm sorry. I get if you don't want to be friends and whatnot. I was just like, you know, if you want to talk, I'm open. If not, that's fine. Just don't take it personally type shit. And then, you know, the new year rolls around. She sends me a text going like, hey, new year, new me. I don't want any bad blood between me and anybody, so I'm just saying like everything's cool and whatnot. And as soon as I saw that text, I was all like, this ain't right. Because at the time, I knew, as somebody who was depressed, even though I didn't know it at the time, I knew that if somebody sent a text saying all is good and that they're trying to make amends with everybody they know, I knew that shit meant that I had a time limit to talk to them before they would do something that is irreversible. So I said to myself, I was all like, hey, I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna ask if they're all good and whatnot. And every time I saw them, they were either talking with somebody or we passed each other in the halls between classes. So every time I made the excuse of, now is not the right time, you know, because it's like, oh, what if I ask, hey, are you suicidal, in front of all their friends? That's gonna be weird, you know, or when I'm on my way to my next class, I only got 5 minutes. That's not enough time to have a conversation about if they are feeling good or not. So I kept making these excuses, holding off on asking them if they were okay. And then Suicide Prevention Week comes around. At the end of the week, they ended up, you know, killing themselves. And everybody that I was around was crying, but I wasn't. Despite the fact that not only did I see it coming, but I was closer to them than some of the people that I knew who were crying. And I started questioning myself. I was like, did I really care? If I cared, I would have stopped them. If I, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, years later, I'm able to realize I'm only human. I shouldn't hold myself to a higher standard than I would another person. You know, if I decided to do the same thing as my friend, would I hold other people accountable for my own death? Fuck no. You know, it was my decision. I would not hold my dad. I would not hold my mom. I would not hold my sister. I would not hold my friends. I would hold nobody accountable for my own decision. And I hope she feels the same way. If she doesn't, I'm sorry for anything that I did that may have caused it. I'm sorry for whatever somebody else might have done to cause it, even though it's not my fault or whatever. I wish they were still here and whatnot, but, like, that's not the case. And there's nothing I can do or anybody else can do to change that. But it's one of those things where it's just like, before you take your own life, really think about if there's somebody else who might really truly care for you. Think, if not your family, think about your friends. If not your friends, think about your pets. If you don't have any pets, maybe there's a coworker or somebody. In most people's life, at least, there is somebody who cares for you. Think about how they will feel when you're gone. Because I saw a lot of people crying weeks after their death. And that shit was hard. At the time, I don't know, I feel like maybe there was a part of me bottling it up. Just like I had been with every emotion, because at the time I didn't realize I was depressed either. But yeah, so at the time I was just like, man, why are these people crying? I'm trying to, you know, be happy. But I think pretending to be happy was my way of coping with my own depression. So I think seeing other people that were letting their emotions out made it hard for me to suppress my own emotions at the time, sort of thing. And so I, like, looked at them in a negative way. I was all like, why are you crying? You didn't even know them. I knew them. And I'm not crying, sort of shit. But looking back at it, it was just me suppressing my own emotions and whatnot. But yeah. But yeah, if you're ever feeling down, first off, don't message me about it. I won't say the right shit. I might be part of the reason you commit suicide, just like my own friend. So please don't. But just think about it really. What are the people that might feel hurt because you decide to go? You might not think nobody cares, but that is not true. There is Usually, at least. You know, most occasions there is at least one person who cares for you. Even if you're thinking, oh, they're just my psychiatrist, they're just my lawyer, whoever. You might just think that, but everybody's human. Everybody makes those connections. So even if it's just quote-unquote professional, there's a limit to what people can separate from themselves and their emotions. So even if from your perspective they're just being professional, they might truly care for you. So just kind of keep that in mind, like, they might truly care. And even if they don't, just pretend they do. It's better to be alive than to put others through that kind of pain of taking your own life. I think Quadeca, you know, it's one of his lesser known songs, but it's one that I really love. I think is it Life Like This is the title? It's been so long since I listened to it. I believe it's Life Like This. Let me make sure of that. Damn, it's not Life Like This. Idiot. Well, it's one of his singles, and oh god, he has 50 singles apparently. Gordon Ramsay. Live Like This, not Life Like This, but Live Like This, I believe is the song. And it's a song where he raps about, like, getting a message about, like, one of his fans, you know, so one of his fans messages him about how they're suicidal and whatnot, and his songs has helped them, and then they end up committing suicide, so he gets another message from one of their friends going like, hey, my friend committed suicide, he really loved your music, yada yada yada. And Quadeca missed the first message from the friend who killed himself, so he sees the new message from the friend of the friend who died, and he ends up reading through the messages that the now deceased friend sent him. And it's one of those songs that I honestly really connected to at the time, because at the time I was also going through a similar situation, not with my friend but with another. At the time I was streaming on Twitch and whatnot, so there was a person in my Twitch chat and whatnot who was constantly messaging me. I gave them my Snap at the time, I was in high school and whatnot. They started messaging me on Snap and whatnot, and they were going through a rough time, and I didn't know how to respond, so I stopped responding at the time. And I hope they're doing good. But every now and then I think about them and I'm like, what if they're not? What if because I stopped messaging them, I was like their only lifeline sort of thing? And that's why I hold the opinion that, like, from now, like, from that point on to now, I will never message somebody that I don't know going like, hey, you're the only reason I'm alive type shit. I would never say that to anybody, even if they're my best fucking friend. I would never say that shit. That is not a pressure I don't want to put my life on somebody else's life, you know? Do you have any idea how much pressure somebody else's life is on your own shoulders? Most people don't. And that's something I don't want to deal with. That's something that I want other people to deal with. I hope other people don't ever feel that kind of pressure. Because I felt it too many times. I hope I don't feel it again. But realistically, I will. If my channel continues to grow, I will feel that again. And I hope that in the future, I'm able to deal with it. And if I'm not, I'm sorry. I hope whoever messages me doesn't take it personally. Hope if I don't message them back, they don't take it personally. Because it's not personal, it's just, I'm just as human as they are, you know? So if I'm not able to deal with it, I hope they understand that. But it's a difficult situation. It is difficult to, if you haven't gone through it yourself, it's hard to understand the kind of pressure somebody saying, hey, you're the only reason I'm alive. It's something that, like, other people, if you haven't gone through it, it's something hard to understand. It's kind of like, it's the same thing with military movies. You know, there's a lot of anti-war movies that end up making teenagers go, ooh, the military looks fun. And it's because those people don't know what it's like to take somebody else's life. You don't understand what it's like to take somebody else's life until you do it. And once you do it, there's no going back. You took that person's life. They are no longer here. And that is your fault. And something that gives you PTSD. It's something that gives you trauma that lasts forever. You're never truly over it. You understand how to deal with it, but you're never actually over that shit. That shit never leaves you. And some people don't go to therapy. Some people don't get that help to understand how to deal with it. Some people make excuses thinking that's helping them, but it's not helping them. It's just avoiding the issue. And then they drink until they take it out on people around them. And then they, you know, get labeled a monster in their own movies, TV shows, or whatever. They're not a monster, they're just human. They are a human who did something completely inhuman, and they were forced to by forces outside of their control. And I'm not religious, but I'll pray for them if they are. If they're religious, I'll pray for them. Because I know the kind of hurt that puts on you. And I hope that nobody, I know that it will, but I pray every day that less and less people go through that kind of hurt. But for the ones that do, I will pray to whatever God they believe in, that they were able to overcome that, or at least get the help needed to deal with that kind of thing. Because that is a pain that nobody should ever deal with. And it sucks that too many people deal with that kind of pain. One too many people. For instance, my sister herself has said that me and some of our family members are the only reason she's still here, and I don't hold that against her. I don't hold it against somebody for saying that to somebody else, because they don't realize what they're saying. They're saying that to realize it, you know. By saying that, they believe that it will be realized and that they can get the help they need. By saying it, by voicing it, they believe that, like, magically that person will say the exact words they need to hear to fix them. So I don't blame them for saying that. You know, I don't blame my friend. I don't blame my sister. I don't blame my viewer from 6, 7 years ago for saying that. I don't think they did anything wrong. They are just as human as I am. But when you hear that kind of thing, and I've said that to people before without realizing what I was saying at the time. Although, I guess I didn't say that exact thing. I just said that I had suicidal thoughts at the time. Yeah, I guess I've sort of personally avoided telling anybody that they're the reason I'm still alive, because of the fact that I know how much that hurts, but I have talked to people about my own suicidal thoughts that were my own therapist at the time, and I realized that was a mistake, because putting that kind of trauma on somebody else, you know, trauma dumping and shit, nobody deserves that. Nobody's built for that. Even therapists aren't built for that. Therapists have therapists because they ain't built for that. But it's one of those things where it's like, everybody deals with it. Not everybody, but like, too many people deal with that. That there have to be people that can help them with that type shit. So I'll never blame anybody for talking to somebody else about that, even if they're not a trained therapist. Because it ain't wrong. It just sucks that it happens. You're not wrong if you tell a YouTuber that they're the reason you're still alive. You're not wrong for saying that. It just sucks that it has to happen. But I hope that, like, if somebody watches this video who thinks of commenting that, I hope that they second guess themselves, and I hope that they're able to get proper help through therapy or medication, whatever helps them, to not feel like they need to say that kind of thing anymore. I hope that they feel better at some point. Because I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of those comments, and what it's like to be the one sending those kind of comments. It's rough on both sides. Nobody should have to receive those comments, and nobody should have to feel like they have to send those comments. This was way too deep of a video for my usual shit. I'm sorry about that. I've been drinking too much. I think I need to up my milligrams per pill. I'm on 10, I think, right now. I think I might need to up it to 15 or 20. Because I feel like it ain't working hard enough. Who knows? Anyways, I'm sorry for how deep this video was. I might upload it or I might not. Who fucking knows? With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.